Hello everyone! For today's video I wanted to do something that I got the idea for a few months ago when Little Spider 9 did the TBR tag on her channel. So just to get straight into the questions, the first one is, how do you keep track of your TBR? I use Goodreads and I do have a video talking all about how I use Goodreads, but basically, I have a want to read shelf, which is all the books that I want to read that I don't own, and then I have a shelf for all the physical books that I own that I haven't read, and a shelf for all of the ebooks that I own and haven't read. The second question is your TBR mostly print books or ebooks? And as far as the ones that I own just slightly more ebooks than physical books. I think it's at 183 unread ebooks and 177 unread physical books. And they used to be almost exactly the same amount, but since I've been reading short books, my physical TBR has been going down a little more quickly, and ebooks always take me a while to get through because I mainly just read them on my breaks. The next question is, how do you determine what book to read from your TBR next? And it really depends on what year it is, because last year I had this whole project of reading all my biggest books, and this year I have the project of reading all my shortest books. And then there are also just new books released by authors that come out that I want to read right away, or books that come across in the library that are just really calling my name. So in the future, when I'm not trying to get through a massive TBR pile that's actually on my shelves, I look forward to the day when I can just pick up whatever I want to, because I just want to. Next is a book that has been on your TBR for the longest. And as far as my general want to read shelf on Goodreads, that book is Scarlet Fever, which is the second book in Maureen Johnson's Scarlet series. I've read the first one and it was a long time ago, and I just have not gotten around to reading the second one. And as far as what book on my shelves has been on my to read list for the longest, that is Color by Victoria Finlay. This is one that I added to my TBR in college when I was an art major, but I still really do want to read this because I think it will be interesting. It's basically about where different colors come from and the pigments that they originate from. This copy was a gift a few years ago from my now sister-in-law, but I think at the time she was still just my brother's girlfriend. Next is a book that you recently added to your TBR, and the last book that I marked as to read on Goodreads was Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. And this one has been out for long enough that a movie is coming out. And I follow Gina Rodriguez on Instagram, and she of course has been posting a lot about it because she is one of the main 4 characters, and it has been grabbing my attention and piquing my interest, so I figure I want to read it. Next is a book on your TBR just because of its beautiful cover. And I couldn't think of any of my physical books because that would mean I know nothing else about the book, but I did look through my general to-read list on Goodreads and came up with The Fox and the Star by Coralie Bickford Smith. Coralie is very well known for having designed the Penguin cloth-bound editions, of which you can see a few right back here, and this is her book, and of course the cover is very beautiful, which is to be expected. Next is a book on your TBR that you never plan on reading, and I couldn't really think of one because I try to go through my TBR and Goodreads every once in a while and delete the books that I think I probably won't ever read. So I don't really have an answer for this one. I do want to read them all. There are definitely some that are less likely I will end up reading in my lifetime, but I still have the intent to read it. Next is an unpublished book that you are excited to read, and of course there is the next Robert Galbraith book coming out in the next year or two, and then eventually, hopefully someday, the next 2 books in the Song of Ice and Fire series by George R.R. Martin. But then there is also an absolutely remarkable thing, Hank Green's first novel, who is of course the brother of John Green, and that will be coming out later this year. The next question is a book on your TBR that basically everyone has read except for you. And I looked at my general want to read list, and at the top was George Orwell's 1984. This one had 2,230,000 ratings. As far as the books on my shelves that are most popular, I actually think I'll do a separate video about that because I just watched Adriana's video from Perpetual Pages, and she did the top 10 books that she owns that everyone else has read. So I think I will do one of those as well. Next is a book on your TBR that everyone has recommended to you. And I decided to go with one that I physically own, and that is I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith. I primarily have heard about this one a lot on Leslie Words of a Reader's channel. From what I've heard, I should enjoy this one. A few years ago, I did a poll asking people to tell me what books I own that I should really read, and this one was near the top of the list. The next question is a book on your TBR that you're dying to read. And I'm dying to read a lot of these, but I decided to go with The Princess Bride by William Goldman. I have seen the movie many times over the course of my life and love it, so of course I want to read the original book. And this one is the 30th anniversary edition that I just got for Christmas, and I definitely am very excited to read it, but I probably won't get to it for a couple more years just because of all of the reading plans I have in order to get through the rest of my unread books. And the last question is how many books are on your TBR? And as far as the books on my general want to read list on Goodreads, there are 595 books. And that does not include the books that I own and haven't read or the ebooks that I haven't read. That total, all combined, is 955 books. So about 1,000 books, and if I read them 50 books a year, that would take 20 years to get through. And believe me, I'm trying. Definitely trying. So feel free to do this tag if you would like to. I will link down to the videos I mentioned below and to the original tag as well. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.